Tape Library. The worldwide leader in classic sports launched a series designed to take a new look at old games. They called it Cheap Seats with Ron Parker. Parker, an anchor with attitude, was helped thanklessly by tape librarians Randy and Jason. The show was slated to go all the way. But moments into the first show, tragedy struck. With Ron on the DL, somebody needed to step up, like Gehrig for Pip or Brady for Bledsoe. Sitting 2 and 3 on the hosting depth chart, that someone was Randy and Jason. That is their story. And this is Cheap Seats without Ron Parker.
Hey, welcome to Cheap Seats. I'm Jason, this is Randy, and today we're going to be showing you logs rolling and checks bouncing. And no, it's not an episode of the Dukes of Hazzard. It's our wide world backwoods edition of Cheap Seats. And it's one rugged half hour of the kind of redneck goodness that makes you want to go out and buy several yards of flypaper just for the heck of it. We start with the Lumberjack competition in Hayward, Wisconsin, which speaks for its redneck self. Then it's on to guys playing soccer on bikes, which sounds like a game you play in a Walmart parking lot while your uncle is inside shopping for artwork and boxer shorts. So with that, we invite those with a valid ID to put down that restraining order, crack open a tin of Skull Bandits, sit back and enjoy our wonderful low-rent version of the redneck games. It's like the show Cops with shirts.
Saw, then chop, and the first.
You want a birdhouse? I'll give you a frickin' birdhouse. And 3 weeks later, Sammy Sosa had a brand new cork-filled bat.
From here to Australia.
I hate totem poles.
You'll see them under the blue skies of Wisconsin with a big crowd.
No, Ray, that's the cesspool. It's not going to make them any dirtier. If I see you with my wife again, so help me God, I'll chop your... Oh, it's just a log. He's got his foot on the neck of the giving tree. That's so uncool.
Country cleared by woodsmen. Tough, strong men with energy to burn.
And not a woman in
Not
sight.
much to do with it, except sit around with an old hound dog in the evenings and brag
And
about
chop
who
the
was
hell out of
greatest
it.
lumberjack of them all. It was inevitable that one man would dare another to prove his boast, and in 1898 they held the first World Log Rolling Championships. It was
Where?
official
Niagara
that Tom
Falls?
Fleming was the greatest of them all. And in 1960, the lumber...
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Don't make me get my axe.
Population 1457. Once in Hayward, they added other events like tree topping, sawing, and chopping.
And cruising the strip for working girls. The double stir. You go,
Saturday
girl.
afternoon, you can go downtown and watch them make fudge.
See, kids? Fudge can be fun.
Hayward, a vacation town really these days.
A vacation
although
from
it
what?
used to be a lumber town.
Prison?
They come up here from the big cities, from Chicago and
Cheeseheads.
Detroit and Milwaukee. Come here to sample the cheese and look at the world's largest mounted muskie. That fella is
If you
5
clap in front of his mouth,
feet
he'll
long.
sing
He
Don't
goes
Worry,
on
Be
his
Happy.
tongue. Once a year, you can go down to Tony Wise's Historyland and watch the Namakogan Queen come in to officially open the World Lumberjack.
Whatever happened to Boy George? Please let this thing hit an iceberg. Please.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim McKay speaking to you from Hayward, Wisconsin. And you know, a full decade in all of our lives has gone by since the first time we came here for the Lumberjack Championships. But
A decade has passed since they've been there? Clearly they weren't in a rush to get back.
really hasn't changed that much. Neither has the sport. You know, basically, there are two kinds of sports in the world. There are the contrived games, like football, basketball, baseball, things like that. And then there are kind of the basic sports, like, well, let's say track and field. Who can run the fastest? Who can
Oh yeah, track and field isn't contrived. People pole vault in the wild all the time. The river, she's too deep. I'm gonna have to triple jump over her.
The events are simple in that sense. Who can
Ow,
climb a tree the
ow,
fastest?
splinters in my palms. Ow, ow.
Who can saw the fastest? Chop the fastest? Who can spin another awful
Whoa,
log
that dude's good.
more quickly than all the rest? It's a very
Nope,
interesting and
that's a
basic
lumberjack one. And it looks like someone just
sport. The
entered her
overwhelming
first
game
wet
of
t-shirt
lumberjacking,
contest.
The music of the forest was provided by the bucking saw, and that's an event here. Try to put this 7-foot bucking
Boing.
saw, one man,
Boing,
all the way
oing,
through
oing,
this
oing.
20-inch
Boing, oing,
pine
oing.
log as fast as you can. The world record, and almost unbelievable, 24 and 1/10 second. You know,
I don't believe
if you and
you.
I tried this, I swear it would have to take us about a half an hour or something to go through this.
Speak for
24
yourself,
and 1/10
McKay. I've been working out.
Suddenly, the teeth on these big saws probably look as if they're cut in a very random way, like a badly arranged set of human teeth.
That's why
not
it's
the case
called
at
a
all.
British
They're
saw.
very scientifically done. Let's take a look at them. For example, these two teeth here on each given set of teeth cut when you're
What the
coming
hell
down
is this?
way.
Wood chopping 101? Yeah, we better be getting college credit for watching this.
And as for this big fella here, well, that's really kind of a broom. It cleans out the sawdust when you're going in both directions.
And this little girl here will eat all the sawdust once it's collected.
Right now, we're ready for the finals in the one-man bucking. It's going to be John Miller against Ed Rosemeyer. John Miller is the world record holder in the event. He's on the left. He set that record of 24 and 1/10 seconds, but this is
Wow, he
Rosemeyer
came a
right
long
now.
way to get there. Well, we know who Roseburg, Oregon's rooting for.
That same town out in Oregon. There's Miller with his back to you. World
Or
record
do we?
1/10 second. He set it
Wow,
back in
what are the odds?
1966. Okay, here they go.
Is that his wife oiling the saw? That is a domestic dispute waiting to happen.
Each man has a pit crew, you might call them, applying oil to the saw to keep it lubricated so the log doesn't heat
Honey,
up.
don't put the oil on the log.
Well, where would you like it?
On the saw, like we practiced. God.
Really impossible to say who's ahead.
Must
Rosemeyer with the
beat
beard.
elderly
Rosemeyer with the
couple.
spectacles. Really got to be close. Here they come.
Come on, faster, honey. Oil it faster.
I'm trying.
Way to go. Could you have oiled it any slower?
Stroke of the blade. Ed Rosemeyer.
Nice, you smoked an old
is the
dude.
winner over the world record holder, John Miller. They're
Thank
both
you
from
for
the
helping
same
me
hometown
win.
of
No
Rose
problem.
Park, Oregon.
Well,
And he'll
I'm
win the
out of here. And by here, I mean this
goes to
marriage.
The winner, the time 30 and 1/10. That's well off the world mark.
Now, who's going to saw those sideburns? Now, as you might imagine, some pretty solid battle lines were drawn in Roseburg, Oregon that day. And it soon became a town divided, chopped in half by hate and loyalty. These people had an axe to grind with themselves. And that's why Roseburg, Oregon is the subject of our cheap profile of the week. White Sox and Cubs, Lakers and Clippers. When a town shares two teams, its citizens have to choose sides. And sometimes it gets pretty ugly. But never did it get uglier than here in Roseburg, Oregon, when Roseburgites had to choose between its two native lumberjack sons, Miller and Rosemeyer.
My daddy was for Rosemeyer. My granddaddy was for Rosemeyer. The name of the town is Roseburg, Burg of the Rose. How can you not be for Rosemeyer?
Well, I've heard the Burger Rose argument. Don't make sense. If the town was called Rosemeyerburg, that would make sense. But it ain't. Just ain't. The Millers helped discover Roseburg. They're some of the first people here. They actually built the very first of 17 chocolate factories in town.
Before the feud, Roseburg was a virtual paradise. No one knew about us, nobody bothered us, and there was chocolate everywhere.
In a rare show of solidarity, Roseburg tried to settle its feud before the World Lumberjack Championships, but the unthinkable happened.
It was about 2 weeks before the competition. We had a debate at the town hall to try to put the whole issue at rest. And then the video popped up.
The video in question comes from a surveillance camera located in Ed Rosemeyer's garage, which shows John Miller's younger sister, Lizzie, doctoring Rosemeyer's prize saw.
She should have her dirty Miller hands cut off.
The two camps once again were torn apart, and Roseburg, Oregon was quickly becoming a town on the verge of destruction.
There was a lot of anger in town at that time. Chaos. People were destroying what they loved most about the town. Chocolate. Hate filled the air.
I remember waking up and seeing giant flames outside my window. And I turned to my wife and I said, "Hey, honey, do you think that's the smell of Miller's burning flesh?" She said, "No. It's just the smell of chocolate burning in the wind."
Unemployment in Roseburg quadrupled, and the town has never recovered.
It's sad, really, because here we are almost 30 years later, after the Lumberjack competition. Those two guys don't even live around here anymore. There's still no jobs. But there's still a debate about it.
It's never sad to have pride. Rosemeyer may have left town years ago, but that doesn't mean I will ever stop thinking about his gorgeous body and athletic skill. No, he's a great man. And all the chocolate and the...
Sadly, this socially insignificant feud rages on.
God, get him! Get him! That's wonderful!
Welcome back to Cheap Seats. We are watching another installment of ABC's award-winning Wide World of Sports. What award is that? The Latin Grammys. The first Hayward, Wisconsin Lumberjack competition took place in 1959. Only 35 tickets were sold for the first day's performance. Now, over 12,000 people come every year. Man, we'd kill for that size audience. Yeah, 35 people would be sweet. Let's get back to the wood.
Silhouetted against the blue sky of northern Wisconsin, you're looking at the top of a cedar log.
And it's the world's largest stripper poles. We've got John Miller on the main stage, Ed Rosemeyer on the bar.
Speed climbing. The object, very simple as all of these events are.
Because simple is simply the only thing these simple-minded simpletons understand, right? All right. Now, which one's number one and which one's number two?
But mostly, it is this small spike.
We will call it Mookie.
Spike that helps him to scale the pole, and then perhaps even more important, snubs him as he almost free falls to the bottom of it. It's a tremendously exciting event, really.
Really?
Speed climbing.
Right, Jesus?
In the final this year, we're going to have Armand Didier against Leslie Stewart. This is Armand Didier.
Clint's
from
brother.
British Columbia, Canada. One of the very best in this field, but so is Leslie Stewart, another Canadian. Canadians are very strong in this sport, have been for some years now.
Come on, that's the kind of talk that got Jimmy the Greek fired.
In the free fall aspect of this, when they're on their way down, it's important to remember that the rules state you can only free fall 15 feet at a time, no more than that. It's a kind of a safety measure.
Without the safety part.
Right now. That's Stewart in the green shirt nearest to you. Didier on
Cable Guy Boot Camp. They said they'd make it up to the top between 2 and 6 p.m.
He missed the bell. He missed it again. Stewart's got the lead. But here comes Didier. Look at him come down that pole. Looks like he missed the bell to it.
That can't be good for the knees.
On the far pole number 2, Armand Didier is
Cheeseheads.
the speed climbing event.
And yet, he's still unemployed and single?
Missed the bell 3 times.
All right, fast forward. Fast forward. All right.
The place very securely, very tightly, could be dangerous otherwise. And there is Arden Koger of Webster.
Well, first we'll suck out the fat from here. Then we'll take it in a few inches here, and then we'll increase you a full cup size
Where
here.
you want those first cuts to go. His opponent...
No, dude, you're supposed to draw on the log.
New Zealander, now from British Columbia, Canada.
By the power of Grayskull! Whew, that tired me out.
Talked to Arden here a little bit earlier. Talked to him about the technique of his event.
How does this work? What's the technique of this event?
Well, pretty much you take the axe and then you hit the log. Duh.
First thing, you put 2 blows up, you see, one on this side right over here and one here, and then one here and one there.
Talk about being overdressed. You're an axe chopper. Put some freaking jeans on.
Roll out, you see.
Yeah, that's the first 4 cuts. You did 2 down here?
2 down here, 1 over here. and
How
one
are
right
they
here,
still
then 2
talking about this? It's simple.
Well, that was Arden a couple of minutes ago. Here he is right now, nearest to you in the red shirt, ready to go against Brian Herlihy of
Must
British Columbia,
keep
Canada.
chopping.
Record, remember,
Must
19 and 9
silence
seconds.
lambs.
For a 14-inch log, that is incredible time. Herlihy may be a little bit ahead.
I wonder what they're thinking about when they're chopping those
He
logs.
must be
Oh, okay.
leader. Yeah, he's got by just a bit. Well, they've already passed that world record time, so it's going to be nowhere near that. Going for the world title of the Lumberjacks in this event. Standing chop.
Whoa, dude, that guy fell down as soon as that other log went down. All right, go back, go back. That's a voodoo log. Voodoo log!
Arden is the winner. Herlihy lost his balance and fell down. Man from West Virginia, whom I
Here,
first saw
kid,
here
catch.
10 years
Thanks,
ago.
Mean Joe. Okay, let's go back to that interview with McCann, the lumberjack, who was explaining how to chop a log. That explanation took so long, we couldn't help but show it to you again in a cheap reenactment.
Cheap Seats, cheap reenactment.
So tell me how this thing works. Well, Jim, it's as easy as it is simple. First things first, you got to mark your log. Then you chop it. No. Then you pick up your axe. Then you chop it. No. Then you bring it back real high with a good grip. Then you chop it. No. Then you bring it forward, bring it back, and then 2 chops at top, 2 chops at bottom. Then it falls over. No. Then you move around to the other side. 2 chops at top, 2 chops at bottom. Then it falls over. Not if you do it. Sean Duffy, a three-time winner of the climbing event at the Lumberjack Championships, was on The Real World in 1997. Do you care that at one point in the show he started a log rolling program for Boston area children? Do you care that he is now a district attorney and seriously considered running for Congress in 2004? No, but I do care that his campaign manager was Eric Neese. Yeah, and that they ran on the dance party ticket. Oh, hey, do you think? What? Nia people?
The classic event of any Lumberjack championship is the log rolling.
Okay, you don't need to hold the ropes. The logs are tied to the dock.
L-I-N-G. The object of it is very simple, to spin your opponent off the log and into the water.
What you're looking at right now is a flashback to the first log.
Log rolling Brett Hall?
Teenage job. Bill
And he's up against outdoorsy Frank Zappa.
Young Jim Fisher from Stillwater, Minnesota. For a long time,
You go. No, you go. Go. You go. All right, we'll both go.
On this red log, they went a total of 2 minutes. Then they
White
moved
log
to the
rolling
white
in the
log.
dead of night.
Is 4 minutes. And they went right through that one
Wouldn't it
again.
be great if some drunk dude on a wave runner just totally bisected that log?
Best 2 out of 3. Back they brought them again. As you can see, we're not too far from the forest.
Or a garbage can.
The festivities here. But here is the action resuming again. Bill Scott on the left, Jimmy Fisher on the right now, wearing the hat.
A Jimmy hat.
Final fall for the World Log Rolling Championship, an event that is actually supervised by the International Log Rolling Association. Look out! And it's Bill Scott down!
Oh, Fisher with the upset.
He was the loser. A tremendous upset. Young Jimmy Fisher just out of the service.
Young? What service did he return from? The Confederate Army? Here, let me give you a hand there, buddy. Whoa, okay, that's a little too much.
By Bill Scott, first of all. And the title returns to the United States for the first time in 19 years.
USA, USA, USA. Wow, what a win for the Americans. Huge. I guess you could say Uncle Sam's got log rolling in his genes. So, what, are you saying that log rolling is innate? Because I think it's an acquired talent. Well, then you're an idiot. Well, I don't think so. Well, I think I know a couple of guys who can help us settle an even deeper log rolling debate. If you've ever had a bumper sticker that says your second car is a tractor, and that's the truth, you might be a log roller. If you've ever looked at a taquito and said, I can balance on that while it floats on a lake, you might be a log roller. If you ever thought Frogger should have been a live-action game, if you've ever accidentally ordered flan because you thought it would taste like flannel. Well, let's switch gears a bit as we move to our second Wide World event of the show. For those of you who love cycling but have always felt there's not enough soccer mixed in, this next event is for you. It's called Cycloball, and it was the best pairing of two unrelated sports until the X Games went ahead and combined bowling with swimming. It's Cycloball from the 1960s in Switzerland, and I can't think of a bigger party.
The score is 1-0 in favor of West Germany. West Germany in the white shirts with the dark stripes.
Are they in someone's basement? Yeah, this is like a game you invent when you're babysitting.
Goaltender there touched the ball with his hands, which means we're going to have a penalty shot coming up now for Czechoslovakia, the team.
Of course that's a penalty. That was a blatant Cycloball infraction, I think.
In the all-white uniforms, and Carl and Oscar Buchholz represent the West German team. They are brothers.
You do it, Carl. No, you. I'm afraid.
Countries represented here: West Germany, East Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, France, Austria. Here's the penalty shot, and it's blocked nicely.
Hot dog. More like Wiener Schnitzel. Check me out. I'm going to do a bunny hop.
Of the West Germans. But 2 minutes to go here in this first half.
Look at that thing. It's lopsided. Yeah, what are they playing with, a pumpkin?
Trying to build their lead. Notice the tremendous balance it takes to ride these cycles.
Notice the tremendous stamina it takes to sit through this event, even for a minute.
And the shot is wide of the mark off the right side. Now this court measures 48
I feel like the referee should be on a cycle. No way, dude. He should be on a moped.
Of a basketball court. Czechs on a breakaway now. This is Pospisil on the right. And
and the Czechs are blocked by the Germans, just like in 1941. See, Rand? This game's metaphorical.
This cloth ball, incidentally, is just a little bit larger than all those...
Wow, that corner kick was effective, metaphorically.
That little banked railing that runs around is about 15 inches high.
Goal! Cyclo goal!
Gives the West Germans a 2-0 lead over the Czechs now.
All right, Jay, fast forward. Mach schnell. Is that your bike? It's German Moody's now.
10 to 12 years to reach this kind of stature because of the balance. Shot is just wide of the mark. Again, the West Germans showing fine defensive maneuvers.
That's what the West Germans do best. Now, the East Germans, they're better at building walls.
Well, this highly spirited crowd here wanting the Czechs to come back.
The Swiss crowd seems kind of neutral.
They've seen a fine comeback so far. The West Germans now with the ball.
I get nervous when the Germans go on the attack. I feel like they want more than just cyclo goals.
What a play by Pospisil of Czechoslovakia. And it is
all right, due to time constraints, we're going to have to fast forward to the final seconds. This is it for all the cyclo marbles. Czechs are down 5-4. They got a penalty shot with 7 seconds left. Let's see if bike-riding Václav Havel can put the biscuit in the cyclo basket.
To go, a penalty shot. This could be it. Swoboda moving in. It's blocked by Buchholz.
God!
And
no!
The ball in play. No, it's all
Why'd
over.
they quit? They had 4 more seconds left. And the Czechs seem to be devastated by the loss.
By the score of 5-4.
That was pretty bizarre, yet strangely addictive. I know. 10 minutes of that actually end up having more action than your average New Jersey Devils game. That damn blue line trap is ruining Cycloball. All right, okay. Now it's time for us to peddle out some cheapies. Cheapie for most magical moment, I'm going to say the near Czech comeback. I'm going to say the terrifying voodoo chop. That's black magic, people. And cheapie for least valuable Oiler, that's got to be Miller's wife. She really dropped the ball on that one. I say Cody Carlson. Dude, he wasn't even in the show. Yeah, but how bad was he back in the early 90s? True. Actually, I'd like to change my vote. You can do that. All right, that's all the time we have for on this episode. We hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, if a sport involves chopping wood or beating the Germans, we'll be there to make fun of it from the cheap seats. For Jason, I'm Randy. Thanks for watching. See you next time.